Today we're taking a look at these NCAAF matches, which are happening on Friday, December 2nd, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. Also, check out our perks and join the High Stakes membership. Joining the High Stakes membership is easy, is cheap, but it will help a lot in the growth process of this channel. Plus, if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. By becoming a member of the High Stakes Patreon, you will have access to our best team picks, total picks, parlay picks and much more. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. So make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. North Texas vs UTSA Conference. The Mean Green came close the first time around. They went to UTSA, got the passing game going, and had their chances in the 31-27 loss. As long as they can keep bombing away, they'll have a shot. Consistency has been a bit of an issue, but no one in Conference USA gets more big plays out of the passing game, partly because no one in the conference is better in pass protection. Giving QB Austin on time to work won't be a problem. UTSA doesn't have much of a pass rush to worry about. On struggled with his accuracy, but he threw for 325 yards and 3 scores in the first meeting. He'll come up with close to 300 yards in this to keep up the pressure. North Texas might have been strong the first time around, but UTSA did win. Frank Harris threw a pick, but the offense was well balanced, there weren't any big problems moving the chains, and it should all work again against a North Texas defense that allows over 450 yards per game. On a 9-game winning streak, the defending Conference USA champion has the consistency North Texas doesn't. It has the ability to run or 250 yards, bomb away when needed, and keep things moving against a defense that's awful at coming up with third down stops. The Mean Green are 5-0 when allowing fewer than 150 rushing yards and 2-5 when giving up more. UTSA is 7-0 when hitting the 150 mark. The first time these teams played, North Texas took a 27-24 lead with 1:38 left in the game, and it took a 7-play 123 drive by UTSA to score the game-winning touchdown with 15 seconds left. With explosive offenses on both sides to go along with defenses that struggle to get stops, both sides have a shot at winning outright, but the pressure in this game is on the Roadrunners. The Roadrunners have gotten involved in tight games against quality opponents this season, and I expect another close game here. Take North Texas plus 9 points. The Mean Green are averaging 32.3 points per game and 30 points per game on the road. They average 29.6 points per game in their last 3 games against the Roadrunners. Even though the Roadrunners are giving up 26 points per game at home. They gave up 15 points per game in their last 3 games and will keep the Mean Green under their average in this game. The Roadrunners are averaging 36.6 points per game and 36.4 points per game at home. They average 34.3 points per game in their last 3 games against the Mean Green. Even though North Texas is giving up 33.3 points per game on the road, the Roadrunners won't score enough points to push the score over the total. The Mean Green and Roadrunners played under the total in 8 of their last 10 meetings. Take the under 68 points. Utah vs Southern California. Utah was a preseason top 10 team, and while in their minds, things might not have gone exactly the way they would want this season, they still find themselves 1 win from repeating as Pac-12 champions. Losses to UCLA and Oregon over the last few months, by a combined 13 points, show that this team has quite a bit of quality. Back in October, they were able to score 43 points against the Trojans, and while that might be difficult for them to replicate on Friday night, it should at least give them the confidence to not back down in this one. The concern is if the defense can improve on that performance though, especially considering that they won't be playing at home. It should certainly help things that the Utes have been able to stay healthy, especially of late. Brankua's leg has been out since September, and while he continues to be missed, there's no reason to think that the Utes can't continue to find success without him. There might not be a team hotter than USC over the last few weeks, and with their latest rise up the CFP rankings, where they now find themselves ranked 4th, they know that a win on Friday cements their next steps. The only blemish on their record this season comes at the hands of the Utes, though with that one coming on the road, they will like their chances to flip their script. Not only does USC have the Heisman favorite, but also a coach who seems to have this offense spinning with touchdowns on nearly every possession. The last 2 weeks have seen the Trojans grab their 2 best wins of the season against Notre and UCLA, meaning momentum couldn't be higher for this group coming into their biggest game of the season. Unfortunately for USC, their injuries list is starting to mount, and that might not be coming at a good time. Travis Dye, knee, continues to be a massive miss at running back as he remains out for the season. On the defensive side of things, the Trojans are without 3 defensive backs, though with neither of the 3 being starters, that's likely to only hurt their depth. The Trojans may have lost the first meeting between the 2 on the season, but won't have any issues coming away with a win in this one. Williams has been playing exceptionally, and even with some of the concerns on the defensive side of things, their ability to force turnovers and give their own offense even more to work with is bound to be crucial. The biggest difference from the first meeting will be the fact that the Trojans don't have to hit the road in this rematch. Being at a neutral site, as opposed to one of the toughest places to play in college football, will be crucial. Additionally, according to covers.com, the Utes are 0-4 at TS in their last 4 games against teams with a winning record. Take USC, -3. The Utah Utes will be facing the USC Trojans for the second time this season, but this time in the Pac-12 championship game. In their last matchup, the Utes handed the Trojans their only loss of the season when they slid by with a 43-42 win. Utah finished with 562 total yards, rushing for 138 yards, and passing for 424 yards. Cameron Rising led the Utes under center, completing 30 of 44 passes for 415 yards and 2 touchdowns. Rising also led the ground game, rushing for 60 yards and 3 touchdowns. He accounted for 5 total touchdowns. Van Fillinger is the sack leader for the Utes, earning 5 sacks on the season, while contributing 10 solo tackles and 1 forced fumble. Clark Phillips III is leading with 6 interceptions, T1st. USC racked up 556 total yards, earning 381 yards through the air and 175 yards on the ground. Caleb Williams led USC downfield, completing 59.5% of his passes for 381 yards and 5 touchdowns, while averaging 9.1 yards per attempt. Williams also added 57 yards on the ground, making him the second most prolific rusher on the night. Travis Dye led the ground game with 76 yards and 1 touchdown, averaging 6.9 yards per carry. Williams hit 4 different receivers for touchdowns against the Utes. These teams are facing each other with 2 of the most explosive offenses in college football. The Trojans are averaging 42.5 points per game, while the Utes are averaging 39.6 points per game. In their last matchup, they ended the game 42-41, scoring 83 total points, and I expect a very similar outcome in this matchup. Both teams are equipped with defensive weapons, but the offenses are very well prepared for that and have already proved they know how to work their way around that. Williams will target several weapons downfield to create space and change the matchups around. Rising is a dual threat, so he will take advantage of the defensive setups with his ability to be mobile outside the pocket. Take the over with these 2 explosive offenses. Take the over 66.5 points.